Well, for more on this topic, we're joined by Yoshikazu Kato. He's a research fellow at the Charhar Institute for Public Diplomacy and International Relations. Welcome to the show.
Great to be with you.
So let's start with talking about the significance of this high-profile dialogue, this economic dialogue. It's been 8 years. How much does this matter?
I think it does matter because this is the 40th anniversary years for Japan and China, and this is a really important year. And this means an improvement of Japan-China relationship. And we are always, roughly speaking, now there are 20,000 Japanese companies in China, and they are hiring more than 10 million Chinese labor. So this means a part of the Japan-China relationship. So I think now Japanese businessmen and Chinese market, they are very happy to witnessing this improvement of the Japan-China economic relationship.
So let's break that down by some of the sectors. Which ones do you think offer the greatest potential for economic cooperation between China and Japan?
I think this is always, it's also the 14th anniversary year since the Chinese opening reform policy. And I think now Japanese businessmen and Japanese market side, we are looking at China is implementing reform, structural reform. I think it's a very important move. And I think now Japanese businessmen are looking at more opportunities to invest, to hire more people and put more money. So I think we hope Chinese market would be growing up rapidly. So I think this is one point. A second point, I think this time we could witness something talk between Japan and China. I think now we could make a point more on the third countries. I mean, we could joint invest to the third countries. It's like Latin America, Southeast Asia, or African continent. I think this would be a more opportunity for Japan and China, and we should be more responsible for world prosperity and stability. And so this would be a one chance for future development of the Japan-China relationship.
And we're certainly seeing that with the Belt and Road Initiative. And we even saw Japan's Foreign Minister Taro Kono talk about the possibility of Japan's involvement with the Belt and Road under certain conditions. What sort of opportunities do you see there?
Yes, for Japanese side, I think we still need some time and process to understand what really is, I mean, the Belt and Road Initiative. But I think Kono Taro at this moment, he expressed some optimistic view. We could, of course, some condition or precondition, but we could take part in some projects which could ensure some environmentally friendly or some fiscal balance in the host countries. If we could share some criteria and standard and respect some global standard, and we can work together. We can move forward. So I think this is a great achievement for Japan and China. At least Japanese side, we are not opposing the Road and Belt Initiative. We could make a commitment to that process. I think I think China would be happy to see this, I think, at this moment.
And we're certainly seeing both China and Japan really furthering globalization. But at the same time, you have these US steel and aluminium tariffs, which are directed at China, but also clearly impact Japan. What do you think about the timing of this dialogue, especially with the US-China trade spat taking place right now?
Exactly. I think timing does matter at this moment because our Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is departing today for the United States. And now I think, I guess Chinese side wanted Abe to say something to Trump. We should oppose trade war among any nations. We should protect some multilateralism, free trade system and globalization. And now at this moment, Japan and China could reach some shared recognition. We should protect this. We should respect the global trade system. So I think now Japan and China are the world's second, third economy, largest economy. Perhaps we should persuade Trump what should do, what should not do. So I think in this sense, I mean, between Japan and China, this dialogue would be very important. And our stance is very clear. We need to respect multilateralism and free trade system. Right. So perhaps Japan's U.S. allies. So Abe, Prime Minister Abe can say something to Trump. So just wait and see.
And speaking of other countries that are tied to the China-Japan relationship, in terms of the progress and the challenges, just quickly, that we're seeing on the South Korea free trade talks for that trade bloc, what are the expectations there?
I think free trade zone, I mean, a negotiation among three countries, that was not the main topic on this dialogue. But upcoming event, I mean, next month, perhaps Premier Li Keqiang, Chinese side, he is visiting Japan, and Moon Jae-in, Chinese Korean president. So this would be some opportunity to talk about how the regional cooperation among the three countries going on, and more than three countries. Some free trade system in the East Asia system, like RCEP, Regional Comprehensive economic partnership, that would be a very important process. So I think next month, the upcoming event in Tokyo, we can see and paying attention what's happening on.
So certainly a lot of potential there for trade activity. Thank you so much. It's been great having you. Yoshikazu Kato from the Charhar Institute.